It's the final countdown. Guys, welcome back to the pod. It is final season. We're finally here. And we have a titanic clash, bro. We have a battle of the GOAT and the soon-to-be GOAT. Argentina versus Spain. And
my friends always call him Baby Goat because they're Barca fans. Because they love Messi.
I mean, he's on his way, bro.
And he's Baby Goat.
He's the heir apparent to Messi. The Yamal.
The goat baptized the baby goat.
He didn't baptize him, bro.
Whatever.
So let's kick off, I guess, with France and Spain.
Spain, all of a sudden, the last two knockout games before France, sort of just looked a bit, I don't know, boring. I could say boring. Their games were actually the most boring up until that point, compared to everyone else. I think maybe it's because they were like simple wins, but like not a lot happened in those games. You know, actually in both games, they introduced Marino very late, and Marino won them the game pretty much.
I mean, Belgium put up a fight. I'll be fair to them.
Yeah, they were actually, since the US game, they were very exciting. Like, they were like unexpectedly good. I think maybe I don't know, maybe the manager started just playing the players that felt like they were in form all of a sudden rather than the big names, because, you know, we saw Doku and De Bruyne benched. Even Lukaku was off the bench.
Yeah. I mean, had it not been for a Courtois injury, who knows what would have happened in that game. Yeah.
Yeah, but you forget that it was Lemens that cost them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he spills the ball. It was Marino who swept it up, right?
Yeah, it was Marino who got the rebound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he kind of spared their blushes. They did enough to get through.
Yeah. They knocked out Portugal, Ronaldo in his last World Cup.
They've had a good World Cup so far. We'll talk about them against France in a bit. But on the other side of the bracket, we had Norway versus England. Now this was a very close game. It went to extra time, and we saw England pull out.
It was close. It was close because that's just how poor England are, in terms of like taking the game to someone and beating it, like just beating someone comprehensively. That's how poor they can't do it.
Yeah, but in fairness, like Norway is a very strong.
But they weren't that day.
They won that day. Haaland was off it. They said I think he was sick or something on
Bro,
that day, but I don't know how much. I mean, he took him off in extra time, which when that happened, we were all like, "What the fuck?"
No, I was like, when I saw Strand Larsen come on, I'm like, he's taking off Haaland, and you're like, why? But I'm like, bro, he's shite today. He was so bad.
Yeah, that's probably why he was.
Why?
Because he was not getting anything. There was that one chance they had on the break with Soloff where he didn't pass it. That could have been something, but
yeah, that was crazy.
Jude Bellingham stepped up again, got 2 goals back to back. In knockout
Controversially.
The first one, I don't know. There seems to be a bit of like, did it actually happen? Because what happened was apparently the ball from the goal kick hit the camera wire from the camera in the center of the pitch, and it dropped at the feet of I think it was Elliot Anderson, who's some English player, and from there they went on and scored. The Norway players were pointing it out. The coach was pointing it out. Yeah, FIFA say that there was no noticeable touch that they could detect on their system, but I don't know, man. When we saw the replay of it, you could kind of tell there was a bit of a dip that seemed to happen out of nowhere. And I mean, the Norway players looked really convinced.
At that point, I don't understand exactly what is VAR doing.
I honestly don't. I can't understand how. Surely they would have had an angle from that camera at the top that would have been able to see, like, if it was shaking, then.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, it's genuinely, it's
It was such a strange moment. England got through there. On the other,
I lay the blame in that game on the manager and on Haaland.
Yeah, I just don't understand their
tactics were really wrong.
Their tactics when they were trying to go for it. I'm like, why the hell why are they wasting time playing out through the back? Well, you've got 3 actually. 3 6'4" fuck off strikers that you can just lump balls into. Like, what are you doing? Playing around the back trying to get through. Just freaking go for it, bro. Stick 2 strikers up top and do them. Like, their defenders are not huge. I mean, they stuck on Dan Burn at the end, but like for like Konsa and Gahey up against Soloff or Strand Larsen and Haaland, they're not gonna do shit. Like, they could have bullied them, but for some reason they just kept doing some BS at the back. But for Argentina, they got through in the end against Switzerland. Again, some controversies there with Embola's red card.
I mean, it's not. I
I think the controversy is like how how rarely this has been applied, or like
it's
I don't
because
know,
the
like
refs keep the cards in their pocket a lot.
yeah, or
I don't
if
really
like
understand what compelled.
if they would have done that to Argentina
No,
from the
but this is
very
the weird
beginning.
thing about it. I don't really understand from that exact instance where the foul was, the degree of the foul, what exactly compelled the ref to give a yellow to Paredes in the first place. Because
Because from his angle, he was looking at it from behind.
why?
So
But
from
I
him,
understand he gave it as a foul. I'm saying what compelled him in that moment to give a yellow, because that's
because
the reason that Mbolo ends up
because
getting sent off.
he had multiple fouls, and that foul from his angle looked pretty bad. Like it looked like he just cleared him out. So it's not the yellow card is not the issue really. I think it's just like it was a blatant dive from Mbolo, and it was one of the most obvious, like crazy dives I've seen. Like he's jumped and he screamed before he's even touched them.
I don't really understand
And
the point of doing that.
and the guy was already on a
That's part
yellow.
of the
They've
pitch.
just got back into the game with a goal, where they were picking up momentum and they were going for it and they were causing Argentina problems. Argentina looked leggy. They were struggling to deal with their pace.
Argentina have looked like the
And
whole tournament until semis,
yeah,
really.
and they like Switzerland, Mbolo kind of just shot himself in the foot with that. Um, and I think controversy aside, I think that was the right decision, 100%. Like I think in that instance, VAR should be intervening, saying, "Hey, this guy's dived and you've given a yellow card to the wrong player." I think that's fair. I think we should want referees to punish diving, even if it comes at the expense of
A red.
a red or hurting a team. I mean, these are the rules.
But
You're gonna dive. You're gonna simulate.
but
This is
why is it
punishment.
that when a penalty is not given or a penalty is overturned, there's no yellow given?
I don't know, bro.
Like we were talking about
Referees.
for example, wasn't Gordon's one
Which
overturned?
one?
Or am I wrong? Or did he just not give it?
Which penalty are you talking
You were
about?
talking about earlier the England penalty.
That was Jet Spence,
There you go. Yeah,
and
why
it
is that
wasn't
not
a
a
dive
yellow?
because it wasn't a dive. He
What do you
did
mean it's
get
not a
hit.
dive?
Waleed, it's different
He
from.
did
There
the
was
same thing Mbolo
no,
did.
no, he
He
didn't,
threw his
Waleed.
leg at the
Waleed.
defender to initiate contact and he
No,
dived.
Waleed, no,
It's
it
the
wasn't
same.
different. It
It's
was
the
different,
same.
Waleed, because Embolo was jumping before he even got touched.
Why? What does that even
It's
matter?
different, Waleed. It's different because
No, it
at least
doesn't
in
matter
Spence,
why.
Waleed,
The law is when it comes
Waleed,
to
it's not
diving.
a dive. A dive means you fall to the
So what do you
ground
think?
without
Okay, so why
contact,
do you think the penalty
no
for England was not
contact,
given?
because he was initiating the contact
So it's a
himself.
dive.
No, it's not a dive. Waleed, a dive is when there's no contact whatsoever. You fall in
Okay,
without
then
anything.
technically Mbolo had contact.
No, he only had contact after. But
That's
when
the
he jumped and he dived, there was no contact.
why. That's the whole point.
No, Waleed, okay,
Why
whatever, bro.
Tell why diving is
Okay.
not only about zero contact. It's also about embellishing contact.
No, that's different. You're trying to game the ref is different from diving. Diving is different, bro. Anyway,
What do you mean trying to game the ref? That's the same thing. That's the same issue.
no,
It's
it's not the
also
same
it's
thing.
also yellow card worthy in my opinion.
Yes, of course, but these things are different. Like a dive and play acting are different. And what Jet Spence did was different from Embolo. But in any case, both decisions were correct, and I think for Switzerland it kind of killed their game. They were forced to play defensively,
Mm.
and they took it to extra time. But what's his name?
Alvarez.
Alvarez came up with a freaking banger, bro.
Yeah, his only
Um,
like proper moment of the whole World Cup, to be honest.
yeah.
And then Martinez finished it off.
Mm. And that set up one of the best games against England in Atlanta the other day. Um, this was a really like tense game. There was hardly anything in the first half. Literally like maybe three shots between them. Both of them had probably like less than I think it was like 0.02 xg for both of
The
them.
first
So it
half was literally nothing. The first
it was
half we
literally
watched. The first half we watched paint dry.
yeah, it was a battle of attrition. They're both just going at it, fouling each other, trying to get into each other's heads. But once England got that goal in the second half, the game had to open up because Argentina was throwing and chucking everything they had. And I think this is probably the biggest talking point
The
from
two
any of these
semis.
from any of these games in general is how England collapsed at the end.
It's not
And
even like, bro. This is such a. It's the most predictable thing. This is genuinely. This is what I had this. Okay, I don't know if we've publicized this, but I've had this reaction when they appointed Tuchel in the first place. Is that I don't really understand the only difference being that Tuchel has managed big clubs and he has a Champions League trophy, but him and Southgate they play the same.
I don't necessarily think so.
Why? They literally suffered the exact same fate that Southgate put them through at every tournament, where they are completely scared shitless of losing their lead rather than trying to win the game fully.
But I don't
You
think
do
that
not
was from
park the bus
Tuchel.
from minute
I don't think that was.
55.
But he didn't park the bus from minute
He parked the
55.
bus
Waleed.
from minute
No,
55.
Waleed, he didn't, bro. If you watch the game, Gordon scored 55th minute. All right. They instinctively were still going for it.
What? They
But
made subs right after.
No, they didn't, Waleed. No, they didn't. Listen. What I'm gonna tell you, bro.
I'm gonna check this right now. Tell me.
They didn't make the first sub until the 72nd minute.
Rashford was gonna be brought on for Gordon before Gordon scored, by the way.
They didn't make a sub until the 72nd minute, bro. After the second hydration break. So what happened was England scored. They're still, playing their usual game. They got hit on the break, if you remember, and Jed Spence had to make a last-ditch tackle on, I think, Simeone.
That's because they lost the ball stupidly. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from that moment, they got scared and they started to pull back. And then I've seen clips of this afterwards. You can see Tuchel and his staff literally telling the players, push forward, don't go back, keep going. But he saw his players were panicking. The players were 100% panicking. We've seen that with how far they went back. You saw it with how little ball they had, how little passes they completed. These guys could not keep the ball to save their lives. They were in legit emergency mode, bro. They were literally shitting themselves. And I don't think that had anything to do with Tuchel. Tuchel was seeing it, letting it play out, trying to get them to freaking get back to.
So wait, when did
to their
okay?
game
So how
plan.
far after the goal did this just spend? I think it was very quick. No, what minute?
It was
do you think
it was literally like 2 minutes later. This
Okay.
Jet Spence moment.
And then in the
happened.
70th minute, he takes off Gordon for Consa.
72nd, yeah. So what he does, what he's seeing is already Argentina had made some of their subs. He had brought on Gonzalez, and I can't remember who else he brought on. I think DePaul and a bunch of guys, Malin and whatever.
So if you're saying he can't keep, okay, they can't. They're flustered. They don't know how to pass the ball. Why is it a defensive change you make? You're now that you're
Because he's-
amplifying your issue.
No,
You're amplifying it.
No, look, Willie. Okay, let's get one thing clear. These players on the pitch for England should be okay enough. They're world-class players, right? They should be
They're not
all right.
okay, not all of them, but
Willie,
anyway.
Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Declan
Yeah.
Rice, all of these guys are world-class players.
Declan Rice is not world-class, but
We
anyway.
can say they may be a little overrated, but they are world-class players. Okay, they should be able to hang onto the ball better than how they were. That is not on the manager. That is on the players. The players should 100%
The
be
manager
able.
selected the players.
Oh my God, Waleed. Yes, Waleed. Obviously, he selected the players, Waleed.
But I'm saying he doesn't have a good midfield in the first place.
It's good enough. It's good enough.
Why? You
That's
think
what I'm trying to say.
Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson? You think they're passers of the ball?
And who the fuck do they have? Enzo Fernandez. You think he's better than either of those?
Oh, he's
two?
better than both of them on the ball. Yes.
Oh no, he's not, bro.
Yes, he
Don't-
is.
Don't feed me this
Enzo
shit,
Fernandez
bro.
is way
He's
better
not.
than
What is
Anderson
he? He's
and
not.
Rice
He's
on the
not.
ball.
He's not. He's not.
Yes,
He's
he
not.
is. Why?
Either way, okay. Let's say they're equal, okay? So why are these guys not able to keep the ball? But Bellingham and Harry Kane can't keep the ball. Morgan Rogers, it's just McGordon. They can't keep the ball.
Gordon was taken off like 10 minutes later, bro.
No. I'm talking about the 20 minutes prior to when these changes happened. These guys were losing possession there. They were already like couldn't keep the ball at all. So what does Tuchel do? He's like, okay, bro, I have to do something because these guys are shitting bricks, and we're not getting the ball either way. Who does he have on the bench anyway? Kobe Mainu? I'm sorry, Mainu is not doing shit in this game. You think Rice and Anderson are worse than Fernandez? What is Mainu then? Like, okay, he's good with the ball, but in terms of passing and playing out, he's not going to be able to go through all of the Argentina players. He's not
Bصراحة,
freaking
why? Okay,
Maradona.
here's another issue. Have you seen England play dominant possession-based football the whole tournament? No.
Yeah, I have.
When?
Against Croatia, they absolutely decimated them. Against Panama, against
Panama.
Okay. Let me check. Against Congo, they held the ball a lot.
Because
Against
Congo took a
Mexico-
lead very early against them
Okay, Mexico, they were in the ascendancy before the red card and before they conceded the first goal, but they were absolutely outplaying them.
for
Come
a
on.
half, for 40 minutes.
Okay, yeah, when did they get the red card? The first 10 minutes of the second half.
Okay, but my point is they didn't do that at
Even
any point in
against
this game.
Norway weren't really dominating them either. Even if they had the ball, like England weren't like that bad. I'm just saying, and England were doing okay in this game. It's not like Argentina were outplaying them. Argentina were struggling themselves. Let's be fair.
Yeah, but we're talking
They-
about a half. Okay, up until the Anthony Gordon goal, both teams had genuinely done nothing. So you cannot say
agree.
that one was better
I
than
agree.
the other.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's not like they were terrible. What I'm trying to say is Tuchel saw what was happening, and he's like, okay, these guys are not playing to the game plan. We've got when he makes the sub, 72nd minute, we've got 18 minutes left. You're 1-0 up. It's not crazy. It's not a crazy idea to be like, all right, let's just shut up shop. Let's get through this and hold on to what we have. That's not crazy. I'm sorry, but there's nothing wrong with parking the bus in that situation.
Okay, why? And then, okay, he made the first defensive change, 72nd minute. From about maybe 75 onwards, they were pinging balls in that were perfect. They were getting chances. They hit the post twice. Pickford had to make an insane save. All these things started to happen. So you don't. So the manager. So then, what does the manager do? He amplifies this even further by putting on Burn and O'Reilly and telling them to keep doing this.
No, what he's trying to do is like what you're saying. Argentina were pinging in perfect crosses from Messi, from De Paul, and they were getting on the end of them.
Burn and O'Reilly were there to try and defend it.
And
he put O'Reilly and Burn there because they're tall.
Exactly.
And he's asking them to defend it.
No, what he did was, so when he made that concert chance, they went 5-3-2. 5-3-2. Okay? Which meant that Argentina literally had both wings, but they were utilizing the right a lot, and they literally had open season on England. And by the way, the fact that they were so deep meant they were conceding so many shots as well. So what did Tuchel do? He brought on O'Reilly to sit on the left-hand side. So he changed from 4-5-3-2 to a 5-4-1. He put O'Reilly on the left so that he could handle Messi and De Paul. But he was still getting doubled up. Jed Spence was being targeted. He chucked on Dan Burn because, like we said, they were losing headers somehow.
But again, this amplified the issues because he took off Reece James and Declan Rice, both players world-class players who can pass the ball far better than O'Reilly and Burn.
But they weren't, Willie. That's the point. They weren't. So what is he supposed to do? He has to try and limit what's happening. He has to put a bandage on it. He has to just try and get through these last 15 minutes and hold on to the 1-0 lead because their players on the pitch aren't doing anything.
Okay, well, and then the first goal happens.
The first goal doesn't even happen because of his tactics. The first goal happens because they didn't close down properly from a corner. It comes from a set piece. That's nothing the manager can do. If the manager can put players, all he wants.
The corner was won because of an Enzo Fernandez long shot that the keeper had to save. Okay, even though it was going out.
That's not wrong. That's not bad.
Okay, so who's supposed to communicate to tell the players to switch on to Enzo Fernandez?
Brother, I'm telling you, there's literally footage of him shouting, him and his coaching staff shouting.
When Enzo Fernandez took the shot or what?
From before, just tell him to push up, stop getting sucked in.
Okay, so what happened? Okay, so who is the issue for the Enzo Fernandez chance?
He's supposed to hold their hand and shout every instruction, every little.
That's what a manager does.
No, Waleed.
The manager sees everything.
These are players. They're not babies, Waleed. They should know. They're not dumb. Oh, there's a guy. He's coming at.
Why is it?
We're leaving him open.
Why? When you have like 7 defenders on the pitch, why is it on Jude Bellingham to close out Enzo Fernandez on the corner?
No, it wasn't his fault. It was Ali Anderson, who got sucked into the right.
Yeah, because they've been playing 2 men on Messi pretty much the whole half. Why?
Yeah, but Waleed, it's a set piece. It's a set piece. Formations and positioning doesn't matter at a set piece. You need to close down properly. You need to be set up properly. They should know how to defend a set piece. I'm sorry, a manager should not be holding their hand and babying them in every situation. Like, come on, bro. This is for me, 90% of all of the shit that went down is on the players. I can agree on certain things of like, okay, maybe like you're saying, from these changes they invited the pressure, but the pressure was already happening. Okay, you can say, by doing that, they didn't have an out ball. They didn't have someone to hit them on the counter. Argentina saw that they made defensive something like, okay, let's pile up. I understand that.
Why exactly? Like,
but you have to understand it. You have to understand it from what Tuchel is seeing.
But why is Gordon the change? Because at least Gordon is incredibly fast. He presses well. He can be an out, like you said, he's an out ball. Why is it Gordon and not someone else? For example, why doesn't the manager know? Why does the manager?
Too.
Yeah, later. But I'm saying. No, he didn't even take off Rodgers.
Did not take off Rodgers?
No, he never took off Rodgers.
He took off Rice. He took off
Reece James. And then later, when they went for the game, he took off Stones and Spence.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is, for example, we've seen other managers in this World Cup make big changes. The Spain manager has, for now, 3 games in a row, I'm sure he's going to do it for the final as well, he dropped Pedri. Why? For the balance of the team. Not because Pedri is bad, but he has not performed accordingly, and they need a different kind of person to balance out the styles of the players. Okay? Why is Gordon the change? A player who's feeling himself probably. He just scored in the semi-final, and like I said, he presses well. He's incredibly fast. He's an out ball for when you clear the ball, and he's gonna press down the. He's potentially find the space. Potentially, if you hit a good enough ball, he'll get the ball before the defender. Why is it Gordon and not Harry Kane and Bellingham who have not done anything the whole game?
You can't take off. You can't take
But
off.
why?
Kane and
Why?
Bellingham,
Why
bro.
can you take off Pedri? You can't take off Harry Kane and Bellingham.
Because Waleed, if you take off Kane and Bellingham, and let's say it does go to extra time, you're fucked. You don't have anything now. And let's say it goes
But
to
they got
penalties.
fucked.
Yes, but that's on the players, bro. He can only react to what's happening. That's what he can't do anything else.
I'm not saying
Waleed,
take. Okay, by the way, I just said an example of Bellingham and Kane because they were both were their best players and they didn't do anything in the game. I don't say you take off. Okay, you don't have to take off both. Take one of them. Because, like I said,
Look,
they weren't doing anything. They were
I
just
think
bodies.
I think there's merit in that. I understand that. But I'm just telling you, from what he's seen, he's been trying his damnness the whole time while they're getting sucked into this game plan of Argentina to get them to push out, to play how they're supposed to play. They weren't responding. So he has to adjust. He has to be like...
What adjustment?
like
Okay,
said,
can I ask you, what adjustment did he make when it became 1-1? He didn't make any
1-1?
adjustment. They tried to protect it into extra time. And then they ate a goal in added time.
Because, yeah, okay.
The same,
from that point...
And the goal is it's an absolutely embarrassing goal to concede, that second goal. You had Spence and O'Reilly on Messi there. Both couldn't somehow both couldn't close down his cross. And you had Lautaro by himself in the middle of Stones, Gahey, and Dan Burn.
That's the bigger thing for me. Okay, look. What happens in that situation? They clear the ball out, it goes out wide. They intercept the ball, it goes out wide. Messi's trying to get through, he goes right. For me, they've done everything they can. They're trying to push him out wide as far as they can, and onto his right. He crosses that from his right. And he's still edging
so it's so surprising.
He's still desperate to get to it. He puts a perfect cross. You can't do any more, ask any more from those two guys that were on him there. I'm sorry.
They were not. Why? You don't remember watching the replay? They're not even that close to him. They're in front of him. They're not that close to him.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, if they get too close again, Messi can just go by them. It's a no-win situation for them. But they've done as much as they can. They force him out onto his right. That's a good thing. You force him to take the cross on his right. Okay, from that moment, the guys like you're saying, the Martinez being unmarked completely in the box is the biggest problem there, and it's inconceivable how a guy who's 175 centimeters up against defenders who, especially Dan fucking Burn, who's 6'7", and as Recons is bigger than me. John Stones is bigger than him. They've got players in there that should be able to deal with a header, but they were losing headers the last 30 minutes, even up against McAllister and all these guys. This is on the defending, bro. This is on those players. How are you playing in the Premier League week in, week out, dealing with these situations
That's the
all
issue.
the time?
The Stones isn't playing week in, week
these...
out. Stones played like 4 games all season.
Dan Burn, he's not.
Stones was the closest defender to Martinez, by the way.
Even if he's not been playing week in, week out, bro, you played your whole life in the Premier League. Dealing with balls into the box should be your bread and butter. Like these guys deal with crosses into the box all the time. So how are they struggling against these midgets? I don't understand. That's why, for me, the majority of the blame should go to the players. Not only did they shit the bed and panic and retreat when they shouldn't have, not only did they stop playing and somehow forgot to be able to pass a ball and control a ball, they forgot how to do the freaking basics of defending. Marking, closing down, heading the ball. Like, I'm sorry. For me, I understand Tuchel maybe could have made better subs, maybe he could have adjusted better. This is on the players, 100% for me.
Well, okay. Does Elliot Anderson have experience of pushing up and taking the game to a team at Forest? No. Does Declan Rice have experience of pushing up, playing high pressing, taking the game to the team with passes, killing people with passes? No. He plays for Arsenal.
They play with the.
Does Jed Spence finishing 17th? Does Jed Spence know how the fuck to play attacking football and protect the lead and all this kind of bullshit?
You can do this tip for tap for Argentina.
But this is what I'm trying to say.
Romero, Lisandro Martinez, Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, that's on Harry Kane and Bellingham, bro.
I'm sorry, bro.
By the way, just before you put a ball in it, I just want to say, absolutely awful goalkeeping for the first goal. If you have a normal length and size goalkeeper, it's safe.
His positioning was all wrong on that, bro. Honestly, this has been, I think, a pattern of Argentina just finding ways. Like we were saying, those balls that
they didn't actually look.
Quality.
They never actually looked good cohesively until this game in the second half. The rest of the games they
No,
never.
Switzerland they were fine. But
Besides the group stage, besides the
Cape
group
Verde they
stage,
were looking. They looked
why,
alright.
why,
They didn't
why?
look terrible.
It's not that they look. They never looked in control like they did against England in the
For
knockout
the last
stage.
half an hour, sure, yeah,
For the entire knockout stage, basically. You
sure.
can say
For
they were
those
in control
half
against
hour,
Switzerland, but they were just playing 11 on 10.
yeah.
Of course they're gonna have the ball, but I just mean like creating chances
Either
and
way,
such.
Messi came out with 2 assists. Again, man of the match performance. And to be fair, the whole team stepped up. It wasn't even just Messi. Like McAllister, DePaul, Enzo Fernandez, Lautaro Martinez, all of them, Romero and Lisandro Martinez played crazy games. They were both on yellow cards early, and they still managed to come out and put in a commanding performance. I think that was the most uh, convincing of the comebacks. Not just even the comeback. It's just like that has put cemented in my mind that no matter how good Spain are in this next game in the final, Argentina, I think, they just have they just have a mentality, bro. They know when shit hits the fan, they know how to deal with it, and that's something that England did not do very well, like you've said consistently.
But Argentina
So
have not played a team as that has been playing as easy football, as dominant football like Spain.
yeah, but I don't think they'll phase them. I think they'll be like, all right, fine, you want to play with the ball, here's the ball, and when we get we'll soak up all of this, and then if we need to in the last 20 minutes, whatever they need, they can find a way. Bro, Messi finds a way. That's what he does. That's what he flipping does.
Messi on Cucurella. We didn't even talk about France Spain.
Yeah, well, let's get on to France, Spain. This one was such an
This
underwhelming
was
performance from
actually
France.
in terms of like entertainment value.
This was supposed to be the better game.
We were like reacting to everything because we were in a public environment and also it's France Spain semi-final. But in actuality, when the game finishes and you think about it, it was one of the most boring games to watch because
It
Spain
was.
won so easily 2-0 and France offered absolutely nothing. Mbappe
Yeah,
didn't
bro.
do anything. Elise
Yeah,
was the worst player on the pitch.
facts.
Dembele, fraudbele. بصراحة.
Yeah. Honestly, for a game that was billed as the actual final, it was super
And when they're
anticlimactic.
chasing the game, they kind of felt like they were like twitchy. Like even that the massive Doué chance when Simon hit the ball towards him, he took a tiny bit of time. He thinks okay, instantly he thinks I'm gonna smack it from distance because the goal's open. But then he's taking so long that now the players are in position. He's got someone to pass to. He doesn't do it. They were like nervous once they went down.
Yeah. See, for me, this is an example of a game where you can 100% say the manager fucked it up.
But why they never had a midfield that could dominate like Spain's.
It's not about dominating the ball. We
But
saw
they
them
should have.
against
But they
Morocco.
should have.
They didn't
They
dominate the
should have
ball
swallowed.
either.
They should have definitely swallowed their pride a bit and sat back more
Well,
and
that's the
hit
thing.
them on
I
the
think for
counter.
me, that's why you can say his changes to start Tchouaméni over
Kone.
Kone, who was playing well the last few games.
No, but
Why
the
would you
mistake
do
the
that?
mistake ended up being Rabiot. We saw Rabiot multiple times
Rabiot
lose
was
the.
actually all right.
No, he
didn't
lost
do
the
too
ball
bad.
stupidly multiple times, and he took him off for Kone.
That was because he was on a yellow. Also, Saliba breaking down. I think in that situation, if you know he's like struggling, I think you just have to put some faith in Lacroix or Konate to be able to do the job. Like I don't understand how have you pushed this guy to breaking point, and now the guy's gonna have to have surgery and be out for 5 months. Like how is this happening?
How?
Like for
But
me,
why
that's
is
not good
that? Why?
management.
Why is that the thinking behind you finding out he's got an injury? It's not like. By the way, they're the most stacked team at the World Cup. So
Exactly.
the thinking is not let's start someone else for the tournament who's fit. No, it's let's just pray that he doesn't get injured.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then he gets injured in the most crucial game.
But it just seemed like France didn't have an answer or couldn't come up with anything, even when they had the ball. Yeah. I think I think Spain deserve a lot of credit for this game. They absolutely nullified everything that France had and threw at them. Not that it was much,
Yeah,
but
they've been the best
and
team in the tournament.
and they and they went through them. They played through them really well. Oyarzabal again having a great game. I think Rodri and that midfield in general just had a great game. Cucurella, to be fair to him, he was also on yellow for a large majority of his game, and he absolutely had that side on knockdown.
Mhm.
Pedro Porro, bro, his movement and his link-up play for that goal, incredible.
Yeah, the defense completely fell asleep on Lacroix's side.
Yeah, like that's because he got sucked in by Oyarzabal's movement. He came deeper, which opened up a
Wasn't it
space.
Olmo?
No, no, it was Oyarzabal that got it.
Was it
He pulled him
Olmo's
out.
pass?
It was almost past. Yes, I'm saying Oyarzabal dragged Lacroix out of
Hmm.
position, which gave the space to Porro. And they never looked like they were going to lose that game, Spain. And even after that goal, they could have had another one if it wasn't for a marginal offside on Yamal. That would have been an insane
It was an
goal if it was.
extremely marginal offside, actually.
Yeah. But like again, like you're saying, the strength and depth. Spain's side, they didn't have to call upon Pedri until later in the game.
But that was
They
just to like keep the ball a little.
exactly. But like this is who they have as well: Pedri, Marino, Nico Williams, Marcos Llorente. Like these guys are also
Victor
pretty stout.
Munoz.
Victor Munoz hasn't seen a minute. Um,
That's crazy.
But yeah, I think this Spain team, as incredible as they are in terms of quality, I think they also show another side to them of how much they each of them give to the team and how much they all play their role. Like we can sit here and say players like Baena and maybe like Fabian Ruiz and Porro and all these guys, maybe they're not at the level of some of the other players like Yamal and Rodri, but they all uh, give their all. They all know what they're doing. They all work together cohesively. They know what they need to do to keep things moving and how the manager wants them to play. So we've had our piece up until the final. Now that the final's finally here, Waleed, what are your thoughts going into this game? Is it a 50-50 for you, or is there a clear favorite? How do you think it's going to play out?
Hey, why are you saying it like a fucking broadcaster, bro? I don't want to even respond, bro. It's just man.
Well, let me tell you.
Well, with no Kylian Mbappe in the final, no, but it's just man. It is quite 50-50. Like I genuinely I don't know because Spain have been like by far the best, but then Argentina it doesn't even matter how poorly they play, they win. So I don't even know.
I mean, have Spain been by far the best? I think
They
we were all
have
saying France had
consistent
been by far the best.
consistently. No, yeah, well, yeah, but now they beat the shit out of them. So now we
Yeah,
say Spain have been the
but
best.
yeah, okay, but it's not like they've been crazy, like crazy good that they're going to overrun Argentina.
I mean, I don't overrun. I mean, they could easily dominate possession against Argentina, I think.
Yeah, they're not going to be. They're not going to make the same mistakes England made for sure.
Exactly. Jamal on,
Yeah.
and this is the other thing. Is their defense finally gonna get exposed properly? Like they've got
Who's
obviously
Spain?
no Argentina
Oh,
because they have Schisme. Is it they start Molina on the right besides Montiel usually. Who is at fault for the Gordon goal? Really stupidly. Lissandro and Romero traditionally are not very good. Obviously they've been good in this tournament, but I'm saying like they have had poor seasons, multiple seasons. And then it's Tagliafico on Yamal. This is what I'm trying to understand. If Spain have possession, right, and this is Argentina's defense, obviously, why shouldn't Spain win this game?
I mean, fair, but I don't know. I just feel like Argentina are that the team and the manager they know how to set up to be able to stamp out attacks and deal with pressure. Maybe they will be exposed. There might be some gaps here or there throughout the game because Spain are just that good and they have that those weapons that they have. But I don't think it's going to be as open. Like I think we're going to see similar to what we saw against England. Like the first half is just going to be feeling each other out, and they're going to be like backs against the wall, making sure that they don't give anything away. Um, so whoever's I know this is a cliche, but like whoever we get the first goal from, is it's gonna impact how the rest of the game plays out. Like I think if I would say for the you'd say right the better what's better for the game is if Spain score first, or do you think they're just gonna run away with it? Would it be better if Argentina scored first?
No, I think if Spain scored first, I feel like they would run away with it.
Yeah.
Especially since they don't like. I don't know if naturally psychologically they'll surrender a bit of possession because they have the lead in the final, but like
Exactly. The
they
fact
could
that it's a final changes everything.
they could but they also could just keep dominating possession whilst having a lead. You know, they can easily keep the ball.
They can kill off a game like that. Yeah.
You know, and it's not, and again, Argentina scoring first doesn't really change much for Spain in terms of how they're gonna play.
I guess. Yeah. You think we're gonna see like like those antics that Argentina get up to dialed up to like 11?
I mean, for sure, they have to. They have to do because they're gonna do everything they can to disrupt Spain's rhythm. You
I
know,
think someone like I
I
think
feel like
someone like Yamal has to be really careful.
someone is gonna eat a yellow card, the taking down Yamal like crazy for
But
sure.
vice versa, I can see them going. I can see them trying to get into Yamal's head, trying to like annoy the fuck out of him, and he might react because I think he has that in him where he's like a bit not 100% uh cool and calm. Like he's prone to not necessarily lashing out, but like falling for.
But I don't know if I can bet against Messi, honestly. You know, I might just say Argentina win.
How do
Argentina
you
win
think
two in a row.
like it would be insane? It would cement not just Messi as the GOAT, but maybe this team as the GOAT. Come on, two World Cups back
I
to
still
back,
think it still has to be
and
It still has
two
to,
Copa
but it
Americas.
still has to be the Brazil. You cannot compete with that Brazil team. That Brazil team would beat the shit out of this team.
Maybe, but in terms of achievement, I don't think there's
Fine,
anything that
fine, but
compares.
still.
Only thing is maybe that Spain team that won back to back to back, which is the same as what this Argentina team.
But these guys would have two World Cups, whereas Spain only have one.
Yeah,
This Spain could be on that journey after now winning the Euros and this.
yeah, exactly. Like it's two top teams, and I think this is the final that we all wanted, honestly.
When you look at it, yeah, I didn't really know if I wanted a rematch of France Argentina. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have.
I think that
I think
game
it
would
would
have
have
been
been a great
crazy though.
game. Of course, it would have been.
I think France would
It's
have won
definitely
it.
better than England being here, either way.
Oh yeah. I think if see that would have been the worst outcome because I feel like if England reached the final, we knew what would happen straight away. Especially against Spain, we know what would happen. Pickford trying to
Yeah.
reach a curler from Lamel. Come on.
In any case, I'm super looking forward to this game. It might be a shitty game of just like fucking foul baiting and barely any chances, but I think this is gonna either further cement. I mean, Messi's already cemented, but further cement Messi as the GOAT, or it could be.
Would Lamine already be ahead of Mbappe all time with this? Because now he's won multiple leagues in with Barca.
I'd say not necessarily because Mbappe also has a World Cup. Neither of them have a Champions League. I think whoever gets that Champions League and how they do it. I mean, Mbappe's killing it in Champions League anyway, so I don't think so. But this will be like the most insane opening chapter to a footballer's career. Imagine winning the World Cup and the European Championships
Yeah,
before
but
you're
this is the
fucking
other.
19.
Well, I mean, it's off topic, but
This is Pele level.
this is off topic, but this is the issue with probably potentially down the line is his body breaking down because he's played so much football at this age.
Oh yeah, I'm convinced he's gonna have issues because he's already started to have issues. So what, you're gonna say final prediction? What are you gonna say?
2-1 Argentina.
Ooh. Any extra time?
Yeah, sure, extra time. 2-1 in extra
All
time.
right. I think I'll flip it and go 2-1 Spain. I think this is gonna be Yamal's Yamal's night,
Yamal's
and it's
crowning
gonna be
achievement.
a passing of the torch moment.
I don't know. I can just see Messi taking the golden ball, the golden boot, and the World Cup, and he just ascends
And Donald Trump is just like,
in the middle of the stadium. He just starts going up. He's like, whoa. It's like some
he's ascended.
he's
It's my
ascended.
time. He's Uruguay.
Fucking Uruguay,
You
honestly.
must continue without me.
He's like, and then Yamal's like, wait, I don't know what to do.
Ah. Honestly, I can't wait.
And then Mbappe's Tai Lung. He's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? He's
This
like,
was promised to me.
it's mine.
Ah.
That's how he roars a
Ah.
little.
Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode and this final preview ahead of the game. I think it could be the game of the century, honestly. Um, So, oh, there's still the third place as well, France v England, but that's kind of like the dress rehearsal, the pre-game.
I'm
This
sorry,
is like the
the players
opening
that have
act.
not achieved anything in their international careers, dude, they should not be like turning their noses up at this, bro. Go fight for the fucking bronze medal, bro.
Yeah. I mean, who honestly gives a shit? This is like the opening act
Well,
before you
have
see
England even won third? No, they got
they
beat by
they,
Belgium.
they
No,
got fourth Belgium last time. Yeah.
exactly. Imagine they
Yeah,
lost to Belgium.
but that was a good Belgium team.
Yeah.
They were shit. But anyway, this final promises to be the final that we all hope it's going to be, and we're of course going to do a reaction afterwards where we maybe even go through like what our predictions and see how it all shaped up and just do a full on roundup.
Hmm.
But
I mean, we predicted Spain to win.
we did have Spain in the final, and actually, okay, minus the Colombia shout, if that's still the same path, we still would have had Argentina over England. So we kind of did pretty well with this prediction. Thanks everyone for watching. Keep liking and following us and watching these videos. We
And there's
really
another
appreciate
channel
it.
called Creme De La Creme. Send hate their way.
No. Oh, I do not condone the actions and words of my co-host. All right, guys. We'll catch you soon. Take care. Bye.
Stop recording.